Oh, hello again. You notice I stopped counting. I'm just enjoying coming and being here. I'm believing I'm helping some. I know that last one was a bit much, maybe, for some. Yet there are so many tools that we can have, that we do have, that don't get used because of one reason or another. And I know standing in the faith, as some of you are, and some of you being deeply and rooted in with Christ, you may see some of these things differently. That's all right. They're just pieces of wisdom I'm giving. This one tonight, not really a piece of wisdom, just some words. Words to help you maybe reorient, reframe an existence piece. I know we talked about that before, but there is multiple ways to do this. This one is called finding the positive. So if you have a negative trait that you wish to get rid of, let's say saying the word interesting too much, which comes out of my mouth a lot, and that becomes bothersome to some, then you may wish to find a different word, a synonym, right? But what if it was a negative word like, you know, dumb? Well, you could use smart. That might be too far. Intelligent. That might be still too far. How about bright? Even aware may work. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to talk about this more as we move along. We'll call this a positive tool. Let's get back to that interesting story. That's kind of interesting. As for me, oh, I'm the one telling it. I know that. I'm creating. Yes, there's no paper on the ground here. No book I'm reading from. This is just me, God, you. God wishes to give you something and he's packaging it in a story. I believe for some, it will help. For others, it will cause questions. And for some, it'll just be a good story. As the one I serve says, let us begin. So he's on his way up to the book lady, up on the little cross to the hill, right? The house you could see as he turned the corner, walking up through the trees. A house that's a library. That's literally a library. Somewhere. From somewhere. Not from here. Somehow moved. I'm not even going to ask how. But it's here. So that's good. Maybe she'll have that book. It's an odd one, rare one. Shouldn't have really lent it out, but I did. So, well, I guess we're visiting the library. That's what it looks like. Went up and there was a great big knocker. You know, one of those knockers that just says, "This is how you gain entrance into the sanctum of books." Yes, that type of anchor. That's who it was, an anchor. Yeah, not your usual, hook or hoop or hammer. This was an anchor, literally. Looked like an anchor off a boat. Small one, but still a boat. He hammered it once. Didn't want to be too intrusive. Maybe she was busy somewhere and she would get to him when she got there, and it was a nice chair to sit. So if he stood for too long, he would sit. He didn't have to. He heard scurrying, literally scurrying. a ruffle muff wolf. Oh, a dog. Yeah. Meow. Oh, cat. And a little bit of chaos, and then finally the door opened. Oh, the new pastor. What can I do you for? What was standing in front of him was very interesting. A lady, yes, not elderly, not new either. Oh, 40 or 50. And that's probably being, oh, I get in trouble for these things all the time, he thought, but he said nonetheless, that's what she looked like. Auburn hair, clipped, but kind of long at the back. And she had an apron on that said, I read books. Her pants and a shirt, which were kind of a khaki, kind of said, I'm around books. So she smiled and she said, what can I do you for again? And he came out of his reverie and shook his head and said, sorry, I was just taking in the view. She goes, there's not much here. And he goes, it looks like there's a lot of books in there. Oh, yeah, this used to be a library, and I moved it here. That's the story I'd like to hear at some point. Right now, I'm looking for a book. Well, that's good. You're at the right place. Maybe I have it. If I don't, I can probably find it. Well, I hope you have it, because I plan to use it for Sundays while teaching, not sermon. Decided that I'm going to teach something. She goes, that's cool. So you're a teacher and a preacher. Well, sometimes. A little bit of both. And I hear you're a grocery man. By the way, I have a list. Okay. I've been able to get down. I had a whole stack of new books, well, new old books come in. Been cataloging and putting them away as I always do. Rimrod came around the corner. That's what I would learn to call that dog. Part Doberman, part something else that nobody knew what it was. Could have been poodle, the way the fur kind of rolled around it. Don't want to ask. But that was Rimrod. The cat was Nimble. No, it wasn't that it was Nimble. The cat was named Nimble. I would learn these things as I stumbled through the books and went around stacks and oh, I'll get to those. They've got to be reset. Somebody wanted to read through them and didn't know how to put them back, so I just told them to stack them. They did. I'll get to them. But this is amazing. And you have that book. Oh, yes, I do. I have 2 copies of it. He goes, it's very rare. Yes, I know it is. A person named Brenda. He goes, Brenda, uh, Dorson? She goes, yeah, that's who I lent it to a while ago. Ah, well, she donated it to me because she said the book really didn't suit her. Oh, that's too bad. I thought it would help. Well, she didn't dig you either. She has some interesting things to say about you, that you're very stuffy and that you follow only God and that you don't have any use for any wicked. And he goes, well, I have use for earth and the magic that earth is, but that comes through the creator called God. She goes, I agree. But I did take her book since she didn't want it. I said, well, I'll take it, but bring it back because it's a good to have 2 copies. And she goes, oh, yeah, whenever you wish. She said, stick it in your stuff and use it as long as you wish. And when you're finished with it, just bring it back. I'd love to look at your books. I hear you brought a bunch. Yes. Maybe give me some ideas to get some new books in. Maybe I have those, but of a different version. Well, that can happen. Said, thank you so much for the book. And she goes, you're welcome. Rimrod was chasing something. Wasn't there, but it was certainly on duty. And Nimble had decided that a book on the top shelf was in the wrong place and knocked it down right in front of me, trying to get my attention. I had taken up a habit, dust, choking, woof. Anyway, I reached in my pocket and said, "Can I give Nimble a little nibble?" And he said, "Certainly." So Nimble hopped onto my shoulder. I gave Nimble a little nibble, and Rimrod came around the corner with an expectant look, and I pulled out a doggy bone and I said, "How about you?" Whoop. The only thing you heard from Rimrod was woof, thump, chewy, 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 chewy. Happy dog. She said, "You know how to handle animals, and you like books. Anytime you want, come on up, knock that anchor, and if I'm around, I'll let you in, and you can just stumble around for a while." Oh, I'm going to. This is incredible. So, well, I better get back to study. Yeah. She said, "That would be good." Pause in the storyline. I apologize. I have some hiccups in my throat that sometimes come along. I fit well into the story. I may be coughing and choking about dust, but it was beautiful in its own way. As he said, as he stumbled out of it. Thanks her again for that book and another book she gave him that might be useful. Also, when he was back to wandering down across the forest into the little, well, city, town, whatever you want to call it, back to study. At least that's where he believed he was going. When he heard a bird voice, it was when he hadn't expected to hear there ever. It was cold, it was ice. He'd heard it many times. Old adversary, contrary, sometimes friend. Finally found you. Oh, didn't know I was lost. Well, they said you were up in a dirt road and an old church, and it ain't old, but it's there. A lot of nice people here. You don't know their background, he said. Of course I don't. I am grocery man. Car lady over there is car lady. Milkman is milkman. Butcher is butcher. We got it. Don't need to know anything else. This is how Christ would have acted. Yeah, well, sometimes history bites you in the ass if you don't know about it. He said, "So why did you come all the way up my dirt road just to find me, to tell me that?" Well, as you know, I'm an agent on the other side. Yes, yes, I understand you are. You've been in my life for how long now? 20 years, I guess. Remember the first time we met? Yes, I'll always remember that time. That was where you drove your car into the back of mine. I liked that car. That was before I started liking trucks and vans because I had more books than a car could carry. Nonetheless, you ended it and paid me promptly for it and told me that there was more like that to come and that my life would continue to be a hellstorm until I chose the right side, until I understood that God was crazy and that the whole world was a failed experiment that needed to be ashed. I remember. You told me that many times, and now you're telling me I'm around the wrong people. Well, Christ was around them all the time. And these people are hungry, wishing to change, and looking to grow. So, well, and I'll be off. And he was off, and he stepped into a pitch black Cadillac that seemed to leave a very ugly energy behind it as it coughed and choked back down the road and out through the dirt road to the main road. You hear it thumping, crunching as it moved. Said to himself, well, now I know that I'm doing something right. Chuckled to himself and he heard a noise. It was a little lady he hadn't met yet. She goes, I'm the muffin lady. I make muffins and I brought you some. And who was that? He goes, an agent of the enemy. Found me again. First time I was found by him, he nearly killed me. But he wasn't allowed to. He wanted to plant seeds of doubt, but he hasn't. I'm going to be an open mind here and work with Christ and you and find out why God sent me here. Well, that's awfully nice of you. So we all have a bit of history. That's why we use the names we use. That's fine. I'm a grocery man. I have history too. We'll get to know each other. We'll work it out. Muffin lady said, well, I'm happy for that. Pushed her glasses up, those granny glasses, brown, wonderful. Got a little beautiful face. And there was a start of a smile, but not quite there yet. I hope you like, brought you a few different ones, trying to hear God and hope that I heard right. And got carrot muffins here, I hear you like those. Oh, yes. And lemon poppy seed. Oh, yes, that's another good one. Oh, by the way, grocery man. Person I'm getting the poppy seeds from is not willing to sell to me anymore. Can you get some of those for me? Sure. Awesome. I'll make you some more lemon poppy seed if you like it. Oh, yeah, I did. And then the last one is this apple crumble with the crumble and the apple in the middle. And yeah, it's good. Oh, yeah, those all work for me. Thank you. Can I talk to you? Sure, you can. We'll go to the office and open the door and we'll sit and chat. How's that? She said, I like that. You're a man of integrity and morals. She said, I really like that, but I require to ask some advice. So he took his books and put them in at his desk in his office and sat down and propped the door open, and she sat down, and we'll leave it there. Let's get a blessing in it. Let the Lord breathe on you and give you breath. Let the Lord overwhelm you in a beautiful way with his love unconditional, his care overflowing. Finally, abundance, which leads to joy, which leads to peace, which leads to knowing, understanding, wisdom, and all the other things that God wishes to paint with that brush of his. All wrapped in the beauty of a promise, according to his will, according to his wish. This can be yours if you will and wish it to be. So, learning, growing, being as I am. I'm going to start putting stuff up, maybe in comments, don't know yet. As we grow, we got 10 subscribers still, but we have more people looking. So we'll see some people coming in soon. Just believe so. So I'm going to do a calling. What is a calling? Calling is you call to the different directions of what is being held there, or held up, or halted. It's called forward for you. Now, usually you can do this on your own, but if you have somebody that's done it before and really has the faith that it works, well, that's cool. That's what I'm going to be doing. So a workman's worthy of their hire, so I'm charging $25 for that. Now, If you're sitting out there going, I don't got 2 pennies to put together, and it's probably all held up to the north, to the east, to the west, to the south. Come anyway. Now, how do you get here? Well, you can reach out to starthealing.me. Eric at starthealing.me. I'll get it right. Eric at starthealing.me one more time, just so we get it right. Eric at starthealing.me. And I'll send you a link. That's it. Be happening Friday, Atlantic time, 9 p.m. Not 9 a.m. I don't do mornings. I do evenings. So 9 p.m. Doesn't work for you? Well, you can say you wish to be in, and you'll be included. I'll just leave it there. Again, if you ever need to reach out to me just to talk, I'm an encourager, spiritual activator. It just means I point you at God and say, this is what God would love for you to have. Yeah, we all have a talent we can use uniquely. We talked about that. So, one final time, Eric at starthealing.me. And let's have a word of prayer. We come before you, O Father, and we push back every one that would speak doubt or fear or disravel us, desolate us, dismantle us, and bring us into desolation. We push them all back so that these nice folks can have a rest. As it says in Ecclesiastes 3, there is a time to rest. We ask for that rest. We ask for the courage and strength for each day and the grace and mercy for each day. And we just lay it all up before you, God. Leave it there. And we say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude. Standing in awe and honor and respect, allowing the glory to flow. Father, Spirit, Son. This is, and so this is. Amen. You be blessed, rest, and when you wake well, knowing that your path is well lit by God. Blessings.